Thanks, Patty, for that wonderful introduction of why THP Plus housing is necessary. That's Transitional Housing Program Plus. And the reason I'm here outstanding in this field is because if you live in Riverside County and you're an emancipated foster youth, this is what you get for THP Plus housing. Nothing. There is nothing in Riverside County that qualifies as THP Plus housing. However, in San Diego County, we have 106 beds, and while that's not adequate, it's certainly better than nothing. We're going to go back to the studio, and I'm going to break this down for you. Okay, here we are back in the studio, and I want to tell you more about THP Plus housing. We've got some graphics, and let's start over here with what is THP Plus housing. It's Transitional Housing Placement Plus. It's subsidized and affordable housing for former foster youth and former delinquents, so both dependents and wards. That's 300 and 600 cases. It's comprehensive supported services and funding runs from 18 to 24 months. Who's eligible? I already told you the foster youth and probation youth, and they're aged 18 to 24. They need to be pursuing the goals of a county-approved program to be in THP Plus housing. You've probably heard of TILPS, the Transitional Independent Living Plan. Well, once you get to this point, you get a supportive transitional emancipation program, a STEP TILP. You need to be involved in that to be eligible to stay in the housing. A little fine print down here. Child welfare / probation cases must close prior to your move-in, and you are not eligible if your case closes even 1 day before your 18th birthday, or your last-minute order states that you were to return home. Also, don't confuse this with the new AB 12 program. Remember, in AB 12, you are not emancipated. You're staying in care. All right. There are several transitional living programs in San Diego. There's 2 pages of them here. We are going to go ahead and look at San Diego Youth Services. They serve only former foster youth in 2 apartment complexes. They have studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms. Those 2 bedrooms are usually reserved for youth who are parenting. And most residents, although they can stay up to 24 months, stay about 18 months. The waiting list is fluid, as they say, meaning that often they call people and they just keep calling, and for people who still need help, that's who gets the housing. You can imagine youth have to find other places to live. They can't just wait on the waiting list. This is how it works. Safe housing, weekly case management, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Access to health care, nurturing permanent adult relationships, fostering family connections. The rules are similar to a lease. A little later, Susanna is going to talk about the harm reduction model, and you'll see a little more of what that means. There is random drug testing, but you're not expelled for a positive test. They work to get you services if drugs are becoming a problem in your life, and you get help accessing education and employment. What they're trying to accomplish here is for you to take those independent steps away from where your life is ruled by the rules of a foster care system, that you're making your own decisions, that you are doing things as you would independently in an apartment. Yes, there's rules about noise. Yes, there's rules about common places, but you can have people over. You can have people overnight. The rules are basically what the rules of a lease would be. Now, I told you I was going to talk a little bit more about what those comprehensive supportive services are. You have 24-hour crisis intervention. Individual and group therapy is available, but attendance is not required. There's educational and employment support services. I told you about the steps and the TILPs that they're working with you. There's case management. There's mentoring, aftercare services and referrals to community resources. And these permanent connections, this is something that Lorena Garul, who we spoke with, who is the program director for this program for San Diego Youth Services, says they really work to nurture, helping families stay together, make those permanent connections so that these youth will be supported as they are emancipated. They do have pregnancy and parenting services. They do service young parents. They help with foods and necessity allowances. There's emancipation savings accounts. So when you come in, you are maybe paying $100 a month. That's going to raise as your ability to pay raises. But that some of that or all of it is going to be put aside and be a savings account for you for when you leave that housing. The apartments are furnished. That's about all for my part. That's THP Plus Housing and THP Plus Housing in San Diego. I'm going to turn it back to the group. Thanks a lot.